What's going on? This is David W. Williams, the founder of the highest paid part-time job in the world, also known as Diamond Dave on Facebook, YouTube, and also Instagram. So I wanted to reach out to you with this really quick video and wanted to ask you the question, how come you don't control your income? And what I mean by that is that if you're working for somebody else, how come at the beginning of the year, it's acceptable to you how much money you're going to make that year? So let's say you make $80,000 a year. How come that's acceptable to you that a particular job is now going to tell you, well, you make $80,000 this year? So let me tell you a really quick story about one of the downsides of being in that type of relationship. So I knew a person that was working for somebody. They was making fairly decent money. And they had kind of been indoctrinated into this belief that, well, you know, it's cool that I'm working for this person. I don't really like the job. It pays the bills, but I make decent money. And so they make decent money and they just continue to move around their life, doing what they want to do, enjoying themselves. What happens is there's an unexpected emergency in their life. And that unexpected emergency, right, starts to drain a lot of their income that they were making. And then it became very stressful for this person because they had no idea in their mind how to increase their income. Because see, we're taught that, well, if you're already working full time and you want to make more money, pretty much the only thing you can go do is you can go get you a second job. Or you may want to try to join an MLM. You may want to, what's going on, Levon? What's going on, Alexa? You may want to join a home-based business. You may want to join a direct sales operation. But for the most part, most people, their first mind, if they need more money, is to go get a second job. So you've been taught to go get a second job, which now takes more of your time. But at the same time, that income is also going to be capped. So the question is, the reason why you're in an income challenge or you have an income gap is because you've entered into relationships in which you sell them your time for capped income. Now, what do I mean by that? You go to a job, they tell you this job needs you being here 40 hours a week. These are the hours in which we need you to show up to work. And for that, we'll pay you this amount of money, right? You can't make more than that unless they give you more hours. You're not working a lot of times in a sales operation where you get paid a commission or things of that nature. You come in to work, you do a particular job, you do a functionality, and they pay you a certain amount of money. Now, your income for that year has been capped, right, until the next year, whether or not they decide to give you a raise. You may have company-wide bonuses or things of that nature, but the bonus for hourly paid employees is not going to be the bonus for like a manager. Okay? So what happens is if something happens in your life in which all of a sudden you need more income, you can't figure out how during the time that you're at work, how to double your income or how to triple your income. The only thing you can think of is how to now go sell more of your time to somebody else to now create more income. Well, what is a constraint in this relationship or constraint in this model? It's always going to be time. So if you're already working 40 hours a week, how many more hours can you sell to somebody else to generate more money? Because a lot of times when you're looking to get a second job, they don't like the fact that you got a first job, right? They want you working 40 hours a week for them. And you're like, well, I can only work 15 hours a week. Well, we're looking for somebody that's working 40 hours a week, so we don't want to hire you. So you now got to go try to find an employer that is willing to accept the fact that you are only going to be able to work on a part-time basis. And they're willing to accept that kind of relationship. And let me tell you something about most employers. Most employers, because of the way a job is set up, they don't like to give in to too many demands to their employee because they understand that this relationship is set up to where they make all the demands on the employee and the employee makes very little or zero demands on them. And that's the relationship dynamic. So they rarely ever want to give in to any demands from the employee because the relationship dynamic is a setup to where the fact that we pay you money means we get to control a large part of your life. We get to tell you when to show up. We get to tell you when to go home. We get to try to make you stay over, right? And we get to determine how much money you're going to make per year from this particular operation. Because of coronavirus, we've had a lot of people get furloughed or laid off. They got furloughed or laid off. And you know what? they don't know what to do to make money. Because they were trained at the onset, by the time they were being raised up, that your money's supposed to come from a relationship with an employer. They were never trained how to create money for themselves. Because their role in society is not supposed to be one of the people that create money for themselves. Because a job only works if you have people that are looking to get employed. So all of these big corporations only work because we have a class of people, or we have a group of people, or we have a market of people that are looking to get employed. So there is no Walmart if we don't have millions of people that are looking to get employed. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? There is no Delta Airlines if we don't have millions of people or thousands of people that are looking to get employed. There is no Amazon if we don't have millions of people or thousands of people that are looking to get employed. So these businesses don't work without that particular class of people in society. So to feed those particular businesses, what the power structure does is it educates you and indoctrinates you at a very young age that you should always seek employment. And if you have a money issue in your life, you should go seek more employment. And what they never teach you is how to go create employment and create income for yourselves. And so now that we're seeing is that because of this power dynamic with a job, once they decide they no longer leave you, they throw you out in the cold, and your job is now to figure out what you're going to do to try to create some type of income. The average person in American society can't even figure out how to create an extra $250 to $500 a month on their own. They can't figure it out. And it's not 100% their fault because they've been educated that way. They've been educated to not be able to figure it out. That's the problem. So one of the reasons what compelled me, right, to build the highest paid part-time job in the world, okay, is because one, I understand one of the biggest challenges for poor and working class black people is what I call income gaps, where you could be making a certain amount of money, but it's not enough money, right, for you to do what you want to do. Or you could be making a certain amount of money, but it's not enough money to where if you have an emergency, like your car breaks down and you got to spend $500 on your car, you don't have to go into a lot of personal debt to go get that $500 to fix your car so you can continue to go back to work, so you can continue to making money. You know how many people lose their job because their car breaks down. They don't have the personal credit to go get the money to fix the car. So now they can't go to work. So now they lose their job. Now they're really in a pinch. This happens to people every day. And I'm not talking about people that's sitting at home. These are people that are working, but they're living their life on a very, very, what I call tight balance. They're walking on thin ice all the time. And I know about this because I've lived this kind of lifestyle before, where you're working, but you're barely making enough money to support yourself. So every month you're hoping that nothing goes wrong, right? So you don't end up behind the 8 ball or in a bad situation, so you can try to make it to the next month. And then the next month you do the same thing because you never make so much money that you can get comfortable. You make just enough money to where you can get back to work that next day to stay on that same hamster wheel. And this is the position that we've been indoctrinated in. Then many times what we'll tell ourselves is that, well, I'll just go to school and go get more education. But you're getting more education to enter into the same relationship that you were in the first place. So yeah, you might make more money, but it's the same type of relationship where these people control you. And I'm not saying that's bad. What I'm saying is that I don't care how much money somebody was paying me. If they wanted to control all my time, I would set a time span based on years where I'm gonna work this job for 5 years and I'm gonna get up out of here and go do my own thing. Because I understand that as long as I stay in this relationship, they're gonna always want to control my time. So one of the things that really compelled me to build out the highest paid part-time job in the world is that I understand that for a lot of our people, we have income gaps. And we're seeing now how during this coronavirus situation, all the government floated us with $1,200. You were supposed to be able to get income relief from your state unemployment, also federal unemployment. But down here in the state of Florida, a lot of people could not file for state unemployment. Why? Because the website didn't work. So why do you think the website didn't work? Because they don't want y'all sitting at home. They want y'all desperate enough to where whenever they tell you they're going to open up the economy again, everybody's going to go back to work. They don't want you sitting at home. So they purposely made the website not work properly so you could not file for unemployment, so you couldn't get your federal and your state unemployment, so they can make sure you went back to work. Because why? These businesses don't work without a class of people that need jobs. So this is why this particular program is that important, is that once you can start to understand that I don't need these institutions to create money for myself, right? I don't need a relationship with these people to create money for myself. It starts to change how you see your position in the world. You start to understand that you have more freedom and you're not as stressed out because you really know I can go create money when I want to. I woke up this morning and I knew that if a situation was to go a certain way, I was going to be in position to make money. Now, the situation didn't go the way I wanted it to go, so I didn't do what I needed to do to make money. But I know tomorrow, if that situation goes the way where I want it to go, I'm going to make a lot of money out of that situation. It's not a situation where I am forced to go to work just to figure out how to generate some money. And we understand that for the majority of people in the population, they're not even working jobs that they really enjoy. If you're doing what you love to do and you really enjoy it and you don't mind your relationship with that particular institution, God bless you, and I want you to keep doing what you're doing. But if you're dissatisfied with what's going on in your life, you're dissatisfied with the fact that, one, you have to sell all your time to your employer to make money. You're dissatisfied with the fact that what they're paying you, you don't really feel is worth your time. And you're dissatisfied with the fact that your income is capped, right? At the beginning of the year, they've already capped your income for the end of the year. And you believe that that is a problem and you're looking for solutions, reach out to me about the highest paid part-time job in the world. We can talk about whether or not I have something that's appropriate to get you to where you desire, and we can take it from there. If you know somebody that can get value out of this, share it out. This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. I'll talk to you later.